Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Age channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. It's so close, thanks for supporting me guys. On July 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, the winner of all the welterweight belts will be determined by the still undefeated Americans Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. It's no secret that there is an immediate rematch clause in the contract for the fight, which the loser in the first fight has the right to activate. The other day, Crawford's trainer Brian Mckintyre said that the second fight is likely to take place already in the limit of the first middleweight. Interestingly, Terence Crawford himself unexpectedly answered the question about the weight limit in the rematch. As far as I understand, this is still an unresolved issue. There may be options, but it's not a fact that I want to have a second fight with him at all, since I'm going to beat him in the first one. I'm not interested in a rematch, only the first fight, only the upcoming duel. The United welterweight champion American Errol Spence has no doubt that he will be able to not only to surpass, but also to break compatriot and WBO title holder in the same category Terence Crawford in their fight scheduled for July 29th. Which will determine the first absolute champion in the history of this division with all 4 prestigious belts available. Terence is a great fighter, but it only means that I will break the will of another great fighter. I will dominate both physically and mentally and finish the fight with the shield, promises Spence. Terence didn't fight anyone. Even Sean Porter said he didn't prepare for the fight with him the way he should have. And Cal Brook was already broken by Mia before. Errol insists. It will be a one-sided beating. Of course, Terence is a tall dude, so it's going to take a few rounds. But everyone breaks and we will break him too. Terence Crawford spoke about the dimensions of Errol Spence. According to Bat, the advantage in anthropometry and the fact that Errol is a natural welterweight will not solve anything. I have never been in the ring with Spence, but in my opinion, his superiority in size will not solve anything. All my life I was the smallest but the strongest. In every fight I strive to make a statement. And this is one of the biggest fights in my life, if not the most, and he will be the cherry on the cake of my career, says Terence Crawford. Former absolute super lightweight champion Briton Josh Taylor has chosen the favorite in the upcoming super match between Americans Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, who will enter the ring on July 29th to determine the absolute champion of the welterweight division. Josh Taylor considers Crawford to be a more skilled fighter and generally the best in the world profi box at the moment. I really like Crawford, Taylor admitted. Spence is very good and methodical in how he works and breaks opponents, but for me Crawford is the best fighter of our time today. He knows everything and in this aspect is slightly superior to Spence, but it's going to be a very interesting fight anyway. At some time, according to the Briton, he will watch the upcoming mega fight not only as a boxing fan. They are both tops of the welterweight division, and I, as a potential future opponent, will watch the upcoming fight both as a fan and as a possible opponent. Terence Crawford compared himself to the legendary compatriot Roy Jones in years of criticism of the oppositions of both boxers. I feel like Roy Jones. Do you remember how everyone said that he didn't fight with anyone? But he said the following: "It's not like that. I just make them look like they're nobody. Every time I fight with someone, people find some reason for a negative statements. One was squeezed out, the other was nobody. But before the fights, it's usually the other way around. Oh, I don't know if Crawford is ready, this guy is too big for him. And this one thought with this one, he has better opposition. When I fought with Sean Porter, everyone said that I was not big enough, that he would pick me up, that I was not at that level. But after the fight, Porter became a fighter on the decline. His father passed the fight and so on. I've heard a lot of things. On July 29th, I will also hear a lot of things. said Terence Crawford. WBO welterweight champion Terence Crawford believes that former world champion in two-way Shakur Stevenson is the best boxer in the world. Shakur Stevenson is number one. My list of the best also includes Gervonta Davis, Canelo Alvarez, Naoya Inoue and Tyson Fury, Crawford said. Stevenson was stripped of the WBC and the WBO featherweight belts after he failed to pass the weight-in before the fight with Robson Kansekiya in September. Stevenson defeated Kansekiya by unanimous decision and moved up to lightweight, where he knocked out Shoichiro Yoshino in the 6th round in April. Legendary American boxer Evander Holyfield has not split on the topic of who he considers the favorite of the upcoming super fight on July 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, where the absolute welterweight champion will be determined. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford will clash there. The most important thing is that you have to ask yourself if you thought with the best, if you try to prove it. I know that if you thought with the best, then when your career is over, you will be happy. You thought with everyone who thought you were the best, Evander said. According to the only absolute in both cruiserweight and heavyweight, we are waiting for a great fight. Both guys are very skilled, very talented. My opinion on what I think about them will not matter in the forecast. Everything will depend on how the guys fight that night. We know that both of them are the coolest fighters, Holyfield continued. The only question is who will be able to make the necessary moves and catch the opponent before he himself is caught. This is the art of boxing. Find the gaps. On July 29th, Americans Errol Spence and Terence Crawford will determine the absolute welterweight champion at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The favorites' mentor Brian Mckintyre explained why Crawford would beat Spence. Terence is not like the others. All the coaches who have seen him in action know this, and these are the most devoted boxing fans. They live by it. They spend years in the boxing gym. They know better. And they see what I see. That's 100% of all coaches bet on Crawford. The only one who bet on Spence is his mentor, Derek James. That's why Terence is the favorite. It is for this reason that almost all experts bet on his victory. Obviously, Terence Crawford knows how to cope against any style, against any opponent, Mckintyre believes. And he does it in such a way that the opponent seems to be an ordinary, unremarkable fighter. I was a little annoyed at that, and even many of his fights, people were saying that this will be the most difficult test of his career for Terence. But after the fight, everyone seemed to forget about it, as if they didn't want to do him justice on principle. The coach is sure that Spence will have to make excuses for his pre-match treat and promises. I'm even ready to bet on it. I'm telling you, when Terence kicks his ass, you're going to hear a bunch of excuses. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.